if you don't have that mental shift to be able to have a work-life balance in your brain,
Yeah.
then having the work-life balance of freedom to take off whenever you want and go wherever you want is not worth anything.
It's not worth anything.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of More Than Marketing. I'm your host, Arsha Mirsha, and I'm with Shlomo Trachtenberg today. Tried.
Got it.
Thank
got
you.
it.
Thank you.
Not easy, but
And
you got it.
this is More Than Marketing, Shlomo. So, we talk about marketing on this podcast, definitely. But today, true to the name, we want to talk about work-life balance. I think in marketing can be a stressful field.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing like direct response, especially in an agency setting. But even in-house, you have deadlines that you got to hit.
Right.
So marketing can be a stressful
Very
field to work.
Very stressful.
And there's a lot of different kind of trades, so to speak, right? You have your technical folks, you have your creative folks,
Right.
you got the copywriters, you got the guys pressing the button, the gals doing that, So there's a lot going on, a lot to manage just to get a campaign off the ground.
Right.
But I want to start with your Shlomo, with your story, Shlomo, because I think it plays right in to that, right?
Yeah.
So
totally,
we've known each other, what, like 6 years?
6 years, yeah, probably around 6 years.
And how did we meet?
So basically, I'd been working I was working in like real estate management, was not loving that so much, and wanted to make a transition, and saw that you guys had this academy going.
Right.
At that time, I knew that the internet marketing field was like a growing space.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to get into it, and
Yeah.
I love the idea of measurability, of like seeing your actions and the measurability of what comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, you guys were running the academy. I decided I was going to go for it. I applied. I got a call from Luke.
Nice.
Luke said, okay, do the assignment. I got in. Okay, we started the academy, and that sort of like launched my career into digital marketing. So at that time, I was doing, that was the digital marketing, and the academy, I believe, was like 3 days a week.
Yeah, for like 3 months.
For like 3 months, which
Yeah.
was awesome. You're learning basically top to bottom, all the different trades of marketing. At that time, SEO was like the hot thing.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot of focus on SEO,
Yeah.
PPC. That was really cool. And then at the same time, as I was doing the academy,
Here.
I got an internship for the other 2 days a week, basically working for a company called Brand Launcher,
Okay.
which is
you worked with John Goldman?
Yeah, I worked with John
didn't know
Goldman.
that.
Yeah, so I worked there,
cool.
John Goldman, referral mail, and
That's awesome.
So during that time, I was learning digital marketing 3 days a week, but I was
Yeah.
also learning overall branding.
Yeah.
And like positioning,
Yes.
storytelling,
Yes.
all the other 2 days a week. So I was able to sort of like pull that full circle of like digital with like the actual like messaging part also.
That's super
Which
cool.
was really cool. So Brand Launcher, that's what they do. So I was working with them, helping, doing that 2 days a week, working with you guys
So
3
you
days a
were
week.
immersed in digital marketing
so
learning, right? Or
was
marketing learning, and in particular with us, digital marketing.
Yeah, and I was fortunate to have that because I think within a 3 to 6 month period, I basically got so much experience and well-rounded.
Right.
That
a lot of different perspectives.
I would say that was really what launched my career into digital marketing.
Sure.
And then after that, I got a job offer from a company called Laureate Education. Laureate is a for-profit public education company. And they actually hired me to do conversion rate optimization.
Yep.
And at the time, funny enough, like I had it on my resume because like it was something we learned in the academy. And I think it was like a new field at the time.
I would agree. But also I want to say like we definitely taught that in the academy. We probably didn't go nearly as deep into that as we did like SEO. But you also were working I had some work on the side for the dentist. Maybe it was your
I was working for my dad. My dad owns a dental practice in Brooklyn. And
so
I was doing experience with him. I was running his marketing. He let me play around on his website. So
there you go.
That was a lot of fun. And working with you guys and the academy, that side-by-side training with with mentors.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just amazing. And
so now you're Laureate.
Laureate basically, calls me in. They hired me to do conversion rate optimization.
Right.
So I'm working there. At the time that they actually hired me, I think they had hired me with not that much for me to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they had hired me, and they were basically like, okay, and
have at it.
And then no one was, it was sort of like a little bit open in the beginning. So I had a lot of time to ramp up. And I really immersed myself into the conversion optimization field. Got to learn a lot about A/B testing, statistical significance, running tests on big scale for big companies.
Got a lot of traffic,
experimenting, at scale, and that was like an incredible learning experience. But sort of like how this all transitions into work-life balance was that at the same time, obviously I've been married. I had 3 kids at the time.
Right.
Now I have 5 kids.
Right.
So I'm basically working full time at Laureate and also have a full family at home.
Full family, I'd say.
Very full family at home. Right. And so I have a 7-year-old. I have my daughter's 5-year-old. I have my daughter's 6. I have a son who's 5. I have a 2 and a newborn. So basically, we got a full family at home. Tons of fun.
Bunch of rugrats.
Right? Yeah. We got 3 boys, 2 girls.
That's
thankfully.
So cool.
And so I was working at Laureate at the time, and I realized that I also wanted to start exploring doing. There were a lot of people reaching out to me, friends, and in my network who was like, "Hey, can you help us with our digital marketing?"
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, I'll do some consulting on the side." Sort of like a side hustle.
Sure.
So that side hustle, which was called Digital Tracks at the time, which was, sort of was growing and growing and growing. Before I knew it, I had about, 6 to 8 clients at the time. And I was, all of a sudden, I was taking on all this business, and I had a full-time job.
And you had a full-time job. And then I don't understand how you were doing that.
So I basically had hired, actually. I was working full-time at a company, but I had my own side company where I basically had 3 employees. Right. One of them was full-time, 2 of them were part-time. And they were basically running the marketing, and I was doing overall the business, running the business.
Account management, I think you were
account management,
right?
The face to the clients, exactly. So that sort of really got me into the world of e-commerce and running Facebook marketing and full-scale marketing across.
Right.
Met some really cool people that helped me out along the way that I got to work with, and I would consider them also my mentors in digital marketing. Guys like Eric Carlson.
Yeah. Shout out Eric.
I learned. I can't even tell you how much I learned from that guy.
Yes. Quite brilliant.
Yeah. So
quite brilliant. I would agree.
So basically,
works magic.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm basically working full time at Laureate, and I'm working. All of a sudden, my side business is growing way too big for myself to handle full time.
So, and you have 5 kids.
And at the time, I had 4 kids at the time. Yeah. So how did I manage it all? Right. So how was I doing it? So I found myself coming home. I would get home 6 o'clock or so, get my kids into bed from 6 to 8. 8:30, on a good day.
And you have your faith too, man.
Right.
Let's talk about that too.
And then as a religious Jew, I'm basically going out to, for prayer services. We pray 3 times a day in the synagogue. So early mornings, afternoons, and night. Right. So I'm basically going out at night. I also I study with study Torah with a partner, at night for about an hour.
Right.
So I'm basically, and I have to spend time with my wife. Right, and I also have to work on my business. So I was finding myself.
How many jobs do you have?
Right,
father. Right.
Yeah. So I was basically a senior manager of CRO at Laureate. I was basically CEO of Digital Tracks. Mm-hmm. I was husband to my wife, father to my kids, and also trying to balance having my my religious aspect of my life. So I found myself in this point where basically there was no time for Shlomo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
I was full in doing everything for everybody, it was getting me, and I was, and then after, I would get home 10 o'clock, get to bed, I would get home 10 o'clock, and I would start working at 11:30, and then I would go straight to, some nights I would go till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, don't forget, 2 in the morning, you get into bed, right? And then the kid wakes up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, you know what I mean? It was just a crazy life. Okay. So I realized that something had to change.
I gotta take a deep breath.
Yeah. So no, and something, and so I realized something had to change. So so there's this.
I think that's step 1. If there's any kind of lessons that come out of this, right? It's step 1 is recognizing when something has to change, something has to give. Again, this field can be, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's a lot of moving parts. So maybe you like that, but you don't like the company you're at. Maybe you like the company you're at, but you don't like the way certain things work or the people you work with. I don't know, but you got to recognize. Step 1 is awareness.
Awareness of your situation, and otherwise if you're in denial, you're not.
Otherwise you're in denial. No,
so basically, that's like where I was. And then I realized it hit me one day, and I was like, hey, dude, you can't, like, you have to prioritize things in your life.
Yes.
Not everything can be done at once.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, you have to decide what is important, what is not, and make up, you know, times and things. So that's when I realized, though, that, like, but at the same time, you still got to bring in money and you got to support your family.
Yes.
So how do you balance it both? Let's say there is no, let's say you want to keep all the aspects of your life. So
Okay.
I realized that work-life balance, you know, is not necessarily as much about the amount of time that you spend doing the things that you consider life and doing the things that you consider work.
Okay.
It's about when you're doing the things that you're doing, you're in them. You're focused. You're present in the moment, right? So I realized that when I would come home from work, and my kids, you know, I open the door, and my 2-year-old jumps on me, and my son comes home, and he wants to tell me about his day. Yeah. And my daughter wants to do homework, and everyone wants to play. If my mind is still thinking about in 3-4 hours from now, I have to sit down and have 3 or 4 clients that need work on this, and I got to project manage that, and that, you know, my full-time job, you know, we still got a couple of tests running that are up in the air. We're not sure what's going on with them.
Say, you're thinking ahead, but you could also be thinking back. I mean, I know for me, a lot of times when I get home, you know, my commute maybe isn't as long as others, so I don't have that decompression time. Not that I'm complaining, but I get home, I'm still thinking about work. Unquestionably.
Right. And, you know, so I exactly, that's exactly the point. You know what I mean? When you walk into the house, you know, I could be the person working a lot longer than other people, but I have a better work-life balance because when I'm home, I'm present.
I'm present.
I'm present, and I'm there, and everything else is you know, is not on my mind. So therefore, I realized that was something that had to be done. Yeah. Right. And
so step one was awareness. It seems like to me, right? It was like, hey, I'm aware that something's not working for me.
Exactly.
And I need to change something. So step two, it sounded like you said prioritize, but really, like, it's not like, I mean, it could be a combination of prioritize or be present. Like, know that when you're going to be doing something, you're going to be focused on that, doing it full.
Right. So priorities help you be present.
Okay.
Because when you understand, when you come home, for example, so you as an entrepreneur, you know, we have families, come home, there's someone there who's waiting for our attention.
Right.
You know, when you come home, you have a choice. You know, if you consider your relationships with your wife, with your kids, with your family a priority, then you will be present. Right. So prioritization in your mind is recognizing that this is an area in life where I want to work on.
Right.
This is an area in life where I consider it to be super important for me. Right. And therefore, I am going to make it I'm going to make it the best. And when making it the best means that I'm there, I need to be present. Right. Yeah, so now the challenge is, okay, that's nice. It's a nice idea. Yeah. You have to be present. But how do you be present when you have people, you know, texting
when your phone is going off.
Your phone's going off the hook. You got emails going. You got, you know, you got so much going on. You have so much on your mind. Yeah. So then the challenge was like, okay, when I pull up at my house, how do I shut everything else off? And make it that I'm fully present. I'm fully there.
What did you do?
Right, so the first thing was, and I have to give credit to my wife for this. So she was like, "Don't bring your phone into the house.
Don't bring your phone into the house."
So I love that. I would literally come home, and I still do it till today. And I'll talk about how, like, my life has changed since I joined Wealth Mechanics, but why I joined them. But essentially, when I get home, the first thing I do is I take my phone, I put it in my car, and I close that middle compartment, put it in there, close it, and it's off.
Center console is done.
Yeah, I don't even think about it. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, nothing is important right now that I can't get back to.
He's not fibbing here because I've texted him and I don't get a response until like 9 or 10. So
you will not get a response from me during hours that I'm home. You know, so that was step number one. So, you know, step number one is just,
and I respect that. Too, by the way.
And I think any person who's a dad. And any person who's in a relationship with somebody needs to realize that, like, if you come home and you're like sitting there and you're like eating supper and they're like talking to you about your day and you're like,
they are going to realize.
There is no way in the world you could pretend like you're listening when you're not listening.
People know.
People know.
People know. Like here, your kids know. Even your kids know. Even a 2-year-old knows.
Everyone knows, and you know they know. And like one of the biggest signs is basically when they say that when you're just parroting back what the last 3 words that they said. When they would be like, And you'd be like sitting there like, eating supper, and they'd be like telling you about your day, how they, this person said this to them, and they were pretty upset, and then you're just basically like, oh, so you were upset?
Oh, you're upset.
You didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to be present. So that was a challenge. So like even when my phone was away, like how does a person make themselves that they're present? And that means and the way so this is something I learned is basically that you need to learn to make compartments in your mind.
Okay.
Right? And basically say that in my mind, when I'm here, I'm here, and when I'm there, I'm there.
Okay.
And the way to sort of force yourself to do that is to put goals against like specific things. So if your goal is let's say to with your if you have a goal with like to build a relationship, you have a goal at home to do certain things with your kids, you could come up with your own personal goals, but when you have a goal, that goal sort of forces you to morph yourself into that presence
to
of
focus
mind.
on that.
Exactly, to be able to be focused on that part of your life.
I like it. So it's like, hey, I walk in the door and now my goals have changed. When I'm at my full-time job, I got those goals.
Right.
When I walk through the door, I got a different set of priorities, a different goal set. So now that's that compartment.
My goal is to help my wife with bath time and to make sure that she doesn't have to do certain things.
That's good,
so therefore, when I come home, like this is my focus. My focus is to work on being there with my kids and doing their homework, whatever it might be. If that's your goal, and then your mind forces you to say like, hey, I need to do this now, and it could push other things out, even if they're relatively.
I like that, and I think there's kind of two types of people in the world: the like macro people and maybe more micro task oriented versus maybe I don't know dream oriented. But like for me, I would set a goal. I'll set like a year-long goal with my kid, and I haven't had a kid yet, but she's got goals. I literally have written down goals for her first year of life. Yes, 3 weeks. So like or you could have like goals that are just check off like bath time and eat. Like that could be your goal.
Yeah, just
It's like that's my focus. So you could be as micro as I'm gonna get bath and eating done or whatever, or help with the homework done, or it could be a goals longer term, whatever works for you. I think
Exactly, yeah, for sure. And it doesn't when we say goals, we think like 10% growth month over month,
metrics and dimensions.
Right. This is a different set of goals. It means just like overall, like my goal is to be a good dad. You know what I mean? That's my goal, and to break that down into micro tasks, which means like making sure I'm there. Making sure I'm listening, make sure my phone's away, make sure I play with them, give them presence of mind, not to get annoyed and frustrated when kids do kid things.
Let's go back to your story. So when did you recognize this compartmentalizing is like, where was that along the journey? Were you still digital tracks?
It was. Nothing changed in terms of my schedule. It was just it was just a mental shift,
okay.
And I realized that when just like I was my wife was just saying like you need to be more you're the dad.
Right.
You need to take, as there's roles and responsibilities in relationships and in families. And as that, you need to be the leader.
Yeah.
You need to be the person who's going to basically, be a good dad to the kids. You need to be able to do that. And she's like, you need to do this. I know you have a hard schedule, and you just need
good for her to communicate that.
Yeah.
And good for you to listen. Honestly, this is more than marketing.
Goal.
Now we're listening. Now we're getting into family therapy. No, but seriously, I think that's.
Yeah, so I have to give her credit for it. She definitely put the pressure on me to make that happen. And basically, when that happened, it was a whole different shift. So like I think what I want to say with all this is that a lot of times I think there's like this idea that I think there's like this fluff that gets put
facade.
out there.
I think it's a facade.
Facade about entrepreneurship, that when I become an entrepreneur, right, I'm going to have the freedom to be able to travel, right? And I think that's like a big thing. It's like I want to travel. I have the freedom to travel. I can take vacations whenever I want. I can go with my families. And you see a lot of these like consultants like selling that. Like, you want to travel? You open up your own business. We'll help you, teach you how to coach you how to do that. Selling that dream. And I think that dream is a myth if you don't master what I was just talking about. Because as when you own your own business and you have employees, you're thinking about payroll, you're thinking about cash flow, you're thinking about collecting.
We're going to
lose a client. We're going to gain a client. We don't know what's going on.
Right.
I mean, there's no such thing as like if you don't know how to shut that off.
Yes.
You could be in Scotland, right, wearing a kilt.
Yeah.
And having the best time of that dream entrepreneur, thing, right. and your mind is not there. It's
still there.
And if you don't learn how to be present in the moment,
right.
then there's no such thing as work-life balance, because your whole life is work.
That's a good point.
Right? Because it's natural to feel the pressures of work. Some people are just cool. They're just able to say, like, I don't care about anything. And therefore I could just, I'm not talking about those people. Those are like 1%.
Right.
99% of entrepreneurs and people who are, and when I say entrepreneur, people who are responsible for other people.
Yeah.
People are responsible for employees. People are responsible for owning businesses, for delivering, whatever that might be.
For clients.
For clients. Exactly.
Or a client could be a boss,
Whatever it might be, if you basically are responsible, therefore you will have that mental weight on your head all the time if you don't learn how to become present.
If you don't learn how to be present and compartmentalize the situation that you're in.
Exactly. So I would say as a prerequisite to like all these like entrepreneur things is basically learning how to compartmentalize your mind and be able to be present in the moment when you're at places. That way, when you're on vacation with your family, you're not thinking about these things. And good for you if you built a business where you can take off whenever you want and do whatever you want. Then you deserve it. But if you can't do that without being on your phone, your kids and your kids are in the pool and you're on your phone texting and emailing people. Like, what type of vacation is that? It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
So
you're not enjoying that experience.
Exactly. So
I think you're right on this myth. I want to talk about it because another myth. So one of the myths in entrepreneurship or whatever is that you get that time to travel, or you have freedom of time or freedom in general. Right? I think another myth is the myth of money, and that I'm going to get rich.
I'm going to get rich quick.
Get rich quick, exactly.
Right.
Get rich quick, or even get rich. I mean, but yes, get rich quick, exactly.
Right. One of the best email subject lines I've ever saw was learn how to get rich slow.
I love it. That's good.
Because
I'm paying attention to that.
Right. It's like everyone's got the rich quick. You're going against the flow.
They're zagging and everyone else is zigging. No, I love that. And so that's another myth that I think needs to be dispelled or whatever, because there, unless you lie, cheat, or steal, or do something illegal, like you're not getting rich quick. Unless your definition of quick is measured in years, right? And many years, and probably even decades or half decades, whatever. I think that, so someone once said, I think it was me or my friend said, I don't know, someone in my group said,
you made it when you're quoting yourself.
I don't know if I'm quoting myself or not. I don't know, but you can't have, here's the quote, you can't have freedom without money, but you can't enjoy money without freedom.
Right.
So let's say you have a ton of money, but you can't enjoy it if you're not free in your mind, or you're not free on your schedule, on your calendar. Right. What good is all this money if you can't kind of enjoy the experiences that can bring, the trips to Disneyland and this and that, right?
Exactly. And that's why I think work-life balance, I think, needs to be looked at through the lens of a mental.
It's a mental shift.
It's a mental shift, and then
it's not how big your bank account is.
Right. But it could get to that point. But if you don't have that mental shift to be able to have a work-life balance in your brain, and be able to use that presence of mind and be able to put aside worries and be able to not always be thinking about your business wherever you are, then having the work-life balance of freedom to take off whenever you want and go wherever you want is not worth anything.
It's not worth anything.
Yeah, it's not worth
anything.
So
it sounds like what we're saying is you can be rich and have that freedom today. You can have it today. You don't need to own your own business. You don't have to, whatever. You don't have to have all the money. You just have to have the right mental shift, the right mental attitude.
The right mental attitude shift, presence of mind.
Presence.
And mental calmness. To be able to deal with things in the right time and not overlap and spill into your entire life.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it's, it's like that, hey, it's going to be okay. An email's not going to, if someone, if human life is at risk, I will hear about it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's probably fine.
Right, exactly. So, scales of emergency.
There's scales of emergency.
Is human life at risk? Yes or no?
Yeah.
No? I'm going back to the pool with my kids.
I'm going back to the pool with my kids. That's exactly right. No, I love that. That's right. And so that's good, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And so let's go back. So number one is you got to recognize when something isn't working.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be via yourself recognizing it, or
reflection, self reflection of like, what does my life look like?
Take the time.
And usually the most revealing thing is to just ask your spouse or your partner about like, hey, what do you think? They'll tell you, because they'll know if you're listening to them. They'll know where your head is.
And that's a great conversation starter right there.
Right,
That's a good. That's a way to have a good, deep conversation with your significant other.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a significant other, maybe you have parents, maybe you have close friends, maybe, not maybe, you definitely have yourself.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
So, people always say, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time for that.
Right.
That's not true. There's a saying out there, you have time for whatever you make a priority for.
Exactly.
Right? You have time for anything that you want to have time for, so long as you make it a priority.
Right.
So I think step one would be like, prioritize yourself. Ask the people that are close to you, or ask yourself, am I enjoying what I'm doing? Why am I enjoying it? Why am I not enjoying it? What's the best part of my life? What's the worst? Whatever, right? And then use that and do whatever you got. If it's just thought, or maybe you're writing it down in a journal, use that as a basis to set some goals and as a basis to reprioritize the things that you are that are important to you in your life, because it's not all about the money. I think that's something we gotta get out there. It's not
if you're one of those people that it's all about the money, then this is not for you.
This is not,
not for you. This is for people that make money in order to support a lifestyle for their family,
for themselves, their families,
whatever it might be.
Family,
but they want something more than just money. Is not a means to an end.
No, exactly.
If it is, then okay, then then that is your work.
Then that's your work-life balance.
Right.
Exactly right.
Your work is your life.
Maybe your life is your work. Exactly. I was going to say, do you work to live or live to work? You gotta. That's your choice. But first, you got to reflect and know.
Right.
Then you got to prioritize, and once you've set your priorities, you set those goals and priorities, then you are
force your mind to be present.
Oh my God.
Compartmentalize.
Thank you. Compartmentalize. I know. I said it like 6 times earlier, but I messed it up on the one. I love it. And that's good. So you can have work-life balance today, so long as you kind of follow the steps, do some reflection, some journaling.
It takes time. It takes time.
It's definitely a practice.
You could start today, but it takes time to really learn. I can't say that.
I would agree. It's
day one that you realize this, that you're going to come home.
Yeah, it's not like a switch.
Yeah,
right.
But if you know this is something you want to work on, then definitely the thing you could do today is put your phone away. Yeah. Put your phone away. Put away your screens. Put away all the computers. That's the easiest.
Another trick on the phone thing is turn it to silent, but then also go into settings and say don't even vibrate when it's on silent. My phone is on dead silent, so I don't even when people text,
you don't feel the urge to check it every so often.
It's because of distractions too, which is not even micro work-life balance. But so that's great advice. That's great. Good stuff, Shlomo.
Cool,
good stuff, man.
Cool. Should we follow up with a sequel to this?
I'm down.
So
definitely.
Just as a
Go ahead.
As a follow up to this, so I was working at Laureate, I was working at Digital Tracks, and and then even with being able to maybe be present when I was home, I was still working weekends, I was still working late nights. So I had basically been talking to web mechanics, and we merged Digital Tracks with web mechanics, which returned my time back to me. Right. Now I keep all my work within my regular, working schedule. And it gives me the ability to be part of like a company, a bigger company, to be able to come home at night and be like, I'm done for the day, and I'll deal with it again tomorrow.
I don't have clients hitting me up at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
or whatever.
Well, I said, the clients that had been my old clients that were texting
they're still there.
They're still there, but
that's okay.
You train them to say, hey, I will respond to it during business hours. But anyway, that's sort of like the sequel to this, where Digital Tracks merge with web mechanics, and
which is another recognition. Going back to the point, like you recognize that, hey, look, I can maybe sacrifice some of the money, maybe not. I don't know your personal finances, but I'll get back time, and that's more important to me because now I can spend that time with the family, whether I prioritize and focus or not. I actually have the time to do that, as opposed to didn't have it before.
Yeah, I didn't have it before. So cool.
Good to have you. Man. Thanks for the work-life balance tips.
All right.
Cheers.